everyone! Today's video is going to be on 15 ways that you are damaging your hair. Now this is going to be different than, the obvious color, using color and highlighting your hair and things like that, but 15 things you may not know that you're doing that are damaging your hair. So let's get started. So for the first thing that is damaging your hair is going to be overwashing. Now here in America and in the society where obviously it's easy for us to buy shampoo when we can wash our hair every day if we want to, we think that our hair is dirty. Now unless you are out riding horses or going mudding or working in a I don't even know, places where you're going to get actual dirt, like the dirt that you see on the ground and the icky stuff, you do not need to be washing your hair every single day. When you wash your hair, it tells your skin that it needs to produce more oil. So the more that you wash your hair, the more oily your hair and your scalp is going to get. So your hair is not technically dirty, it just looks a little oily. So instead of doing that, you should go towards washing your hair every 2 to 3 days if you can. Now using a dry shampoo or just washing your roots, like putting your hair in a ponytail and then just washing your roots over your sink, is going to be a lot better doing it every 3 days instead of doing it every single day, because your hair is not that dirty. It doesn't need to get washed that often, and it can dry out your hair, and then your hair is dry, it's producing more oil, and you're freaking out because your hair is super oily and it feels dry. So less washing is actually better. Using the wrong hair care is my second way that I am going to share with you that you can damage your hair. There's so many different products and things out there on the line. There are protein, moisturizing, hydrating, color protect, smoothing, volumizing. Depending on your hair is how you should use it, and depending on the season that you're in is what you should be using. So for instance, right now I'm going to be getting off of my Pureology Precious Oils shampoo because that's more for a winter when my hair tends to be a little bit drier. So now that I'm going into spring, summertime, I'm going to be using my All Soft, which has argan oil in it. So depending on the season and your hair texture and style is what you should be using for your hair. So get the right hair care for your hair. When we're in the shower and it's nice and warm and all you want to do is keep cranking up that hot water and sitting under it, that is actually bad for your hair. Think about it. Your hair has a whole bunch of little layers that open up whenever there is a chemical on it or when it gets hot and cold. So when you're using a burning hot water on your hair because you love it so much and you're shampooing and rinsing in it, it's actually keeping your cuticle exposed and opening that cuticle up rather than smoothing and sealing it down. So instead of washing and rinsing your hair in hot water, try to use lukewarm that's still going to be comfortable, and then rinse it with a cooler water, as cool as you possibly can. That way it really seals your cuticle and it makes it a lot more shiny. Now you all know, you're washing your hair in the shower and then it comes to your ends. And you flip your hair over and what do? Through your ends. That is bad. So not only are you taking hot showers, but you're also taking your hair and basically scruffing it up and making your cuticle more exposed because you're going in there and roughing everything up. You don't need to do that. Simply wash your hair through your scalp, really massage your shampoo in, and then let it rinse through your ends, and rather than rubbing and gritting up all your hair, just pull it through your hair. I can't tell you how many times I've been at the salon and I'll go to brush a client's hair and I'll start at the ends and I'll say something like, oh, I'm trying to just make sure that I get the tangles out really nice and easy, and they're like, oh no girl, I have a tough head, just rip through it. Okay, so when you're at home and you take this bad boy and you start up here where a lot of your tangles are and you start to just rip through it and you're getting so mad that you're throwing your brush across the room, that is so bad for your hair. Now, if you're doing that on wet hair and you're causing that stress by pulling on it and tugging on it and ripping it out, what do you think you're doing to your hair? You're stretching it past what it can, and you're also just tearing through your hair and through those tangles and knots and really destroying your hair. So instead, grabbing a brush that's something softer, like the wet brush, which is I can't even say amazing. Every girl that has tangles or long hair should have one of these brushes. They're insane. They're amazing. You need one. You have to have one in your life. You can get them from your salon. You can get them from Sally's or your local salon areas that carry beauty products. Or you can simply use a softer bristle brush, more of a natural bristle brush. So I would say to go for one of these brushes. The wet brush is my hands down all-time favorite. Holy grail. Will never live without one ever again. If you don't know, which you should, you're a girl, you should know. You start at your ends and you slowly work your way up. You don't start at the top because then you're just going to brush your hair into a clump of tangles and you're never going to get it out. So start at the ends and work your way up. This is another way you are damaging your hair. I don't know if you can see that, but this brush is disgusting. It has all kinds of hair in it. It is gross, and what do you think that's doing? So you're brushing your hair and all of your oil and dirt and stuff is getting into this brush, and then you go and throw it into your bathroom somewhere where it just gets filled with more icky stuff. So then you're going to go brush that gross stuff through your hair. So cleaning your brushes and making sure that you don't have all of this nasty hair and dust in it is really important, because you want your hair to stay clean, you want your hair to not have all those icky germs and stuff in it, then clean your brushes. Another way you are damaging your hair is by using your cotton towel and either placing it on your head and going or taking it on your ends and going. That's just, I mean, we already talked about roughing your hair up in the shower while you're washing your shampoo through. Imagine what you're doing when you're putting this cotton thing with all kinds of, like, it's almost like you're trying to exfoliate your hair, but your hair doesn't need exfoliating. So you're just going to rough up your cuticle and make it even worse and more damaged and not as silky and soft and smooth. So rather than taking your towel and going crazy on your head, you can take your towel and scrunch your hair or just wrap it up on top of your head like a turban. Don't do it too tight, because remember your elasticity, just nice and comfortable. Or grab yourself a cotton t-shirt and scrunch and flip it up on your head like that. It's going to save you a ton of trouble and cut out a ton of frizz, because this is just going to create a ton of frizz because you're roughing up your cuticle. I will preach this tip until I am 6 feet under. If you are doing any blow drying, any hot irons, anything that has to do with any amount of heat on your head, you better be putting one of these in your hair. Using a heat protectant is so important, because if you're just going to go in and blow dry your hair or use a curling iron or flat iron or whatever wand, whatever that has a temperature on it, you are styling your hair without any protection. It's like going out in the sun without sunscreen. You need it for your hair. So my favorite is the It's a 10 Miracle Leave-In product. It does amazing thing, and it also keeps your hair from getting hurt and burnt and dying and crying. And then I also love to use the Seal and Shine by Paul Mitchell. And this one is just a thermal protection and not deep conditioner, it's a thermal protection and conditioner. Talking about not using an SPF, anytime that you're out in the sun or going to the beach, you should protect your hair with an SPF. Products like the Evo N-Doctor Smooth Sealant has a UV protection in it. It keeps the sun from damaging your hair and drying it out, as well as the Awapui Hydro Mist Blowout Spray by Paul Mitchell. These things put a UV protection over your hair and keep it from drying out and getting frizzled by the sun. So anytime you're out in the sun, make sure you are going to your sunscreen for your hair. So you get out of the shower and this is the first thing that pops into your head. Of course, you need to blow dry your hair. Well, instead of trying to overuse your blow dryer and blow dry your hair every single day or every time that you get out of the shower, let's try to cut down our blow drying time and over drying time by either taking a shower a couple hours before you need to style your hair, or do your makeup first and then style your hair, cutting out some of the drying time. That way you allow your hair to naturally dry and not have to use your blow dryer so much, because these babies can get pretty hot and you're blowing air onto them. So they're just going to blow out your hair even more. Even if you are using a heat protectant, you still have that heat. It can't protect absolutely everything. So cutting down your blow drying time is a major key to having healthier hair. Now that we are in 2014, I don't think flat irons come into play as often, but we still use them. And of course, we're going to our curling irons and our curling wands and everything like that. There are a lot of other options rather than just using your curling irons, like things that can keep your curls overnight, or you can even do updos or natural ways of wearing your hair and then just maybe adding a tiny bit of curling iron on top, or even blowing out your hair with a brush and really smoothing it out so you don't have to go in with an additional heat option and flat ironing your hair. I'll put a link down below of how to keep your hair in curls and keep it fresh for up to 3 days. A great tutorial and great option for you girls who want to wear your hair in curls every day, or updos. I'll list a few below, and you can also check them out on my page, that are just great ideas for not having to use your heat options and be completely, hot tool dependent. Now this little sucker is a teasing brush. This can get you in a lot of trouble. As I've talked about in this video, anytime that you're roughing up the cuticle can be bad. So when you're taking this and you're going the opposite direction of your hair shaft, you are roughing up your cuticle. So if you're doing this a ton, you will start to get a little bit of hair loss and hair damage. So try to stay away from your teasing brush every single day and limit yourself to maybe 1 or 2 or 3 times a week rather than every single day. I know that the top knot bun and the braids are very in style right now, so you want to limit yourself on how many times you wear that a week. If you're going to bed with ponytails, try to go for the soft tie option. Using these awesome hair ties aren't going to be as stressful on your hair, and try to not do ponytails, braids, buns, your sock buns, or anything that has to do with these things, because you're just going to constrict your hair, create a stress line wherever that ponytail is sitting, and then you're going to start to see breakage in that area where it sits all the time, especially if you're pulling it super tight. So try to limit yourself to how many times you're doing a tight hairstyle, especially at nighttime. If you're going to bed, use a fly tie, or don't even tie it up at all. Wearing hair extensions are a great way to lengthen your hair and add volume, but wearing it all the time can actually really insanely hurt your hair. So the parts where you clip your hair on, they can start to really wear away and possibly give you little bumps on your scalp, or start to cause really bad stress marks on your head. I know that you love long hair. I love long hair. I have long hair. I have extensions. I think they're fun. They're so much fun, but I try not to wear them too often, or I can start to hurt my hair and then it's going to be sad because I'm not going to have any more. So limit yourself to how many times you wear your extensions a week. So that is it. That is my 15 ways that you are damaging your hair. I hope that maybe you found something new that you have not ever thought about before and can start to change the way that you do your hair. That way we can have happy, healthy hair. I know that I take care of my hair. It is my baby. I love it. I love my skin. I want to do the best that I possibly can for my skin. And I'm going to do that for my hair too, because you can see it, you can feel it, you can touch it, and I want it to be in the best possible shape that I can give it. So I hope that this has helped you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy. Bye!